Hi everyone, this is a short video to show how to use the discussion forum function inside of Canvas. Now I just want to talk about what you can see on the screen right now in terms of a discussion. So I'm going to move my mouse up here. So right here you can see that there is a title to the discussion forum. This one is called Sample Discussion About the Weather. And then there are some directions here. Let's talk about the weather. Now usually in this particular space on a discussion forum there's a question, or there are a series of questions, or there are some kind of prompts, whatever it is that is the topic of the discussion. Usually inside of here a teacher will say what you need to be able to do to get full credit for a forum if there's a grade. For example, the teacher might say you have to post a certain number of times, or that you have to reply a certain number of times. Also, there's usually a date attached to when the discussion forum needs to be finished, and also when the discussion forum will be closed. So that happens in here. There's also a box right here that's called Search Entries or Author. If, let's say, somebody says something that you read and you want to go back and find it, you can search for all of their postings by their name. You can also look at all the posts that you haven't read yet, and if you click on that button, all the postings that you haven't read will show up. These two buttons here, this is, well, the big one is to expand, so that you can see all of the writing all at once. The small one actually contracts them so that you just see the person's name and then maybe the first line of their posting. And that makes it look a little bit smaller. I usually use the expanded one just because I need to read it all anyway. Now, there are two ways to reply in a forum, and this is really important for you to understand when you're using a graded forum, especially if you're in one of my classes, because I ask you to post a certain number of times, to initiate a conversation, to reply to the original question or questions a certain number of times. And then I require that you reply to your classmates as well. Oftentimes for a graded discussion forum, you have to post 3 times, or you have to post 10 times. And then you have to respond to people maybe 3 times or as many as 20 times. And so it's important to understand how you can use Canvas to do that. So one thing I want to point out to you is that there is a box around this original question. Notice that this is a complete box. Now inside there are some smaller boxes, it's true, but there's one big box that includes this question. Inside of this box is a reply. Now this reply is specifically inside of this box because it responds to the original question. This is important. It responds to the original question. So when I click on reply here, I get my box and I can write text in here. I can say here's a response. The weather is beautiful, or the weather is gorgeous. And then I can hit post reply. So I want you to notice that now there is a white space here between these boxes. So now I have my own box because I've responded to the original question. Notice that it's a little bit of an indentation here. There's a little bit of an indentation, and then this mark here. That's a different reason. It's usually blue if you haven't read it, and then clear if you've already read it. Now I want you to notice that on the screen there are 2 opportunities to reply. Notice that this reply is still there. It hasn't moved, and that's because it's a reply to the original question. But the second reply is right here, and notice here's me, I made a comment, Jackie. Here's my comment, and then there's a reply here. I can say, I agree. It's a gorgeous day. And I want you to see what happens. I'm going to hit post reply. Notice how it's set off, and notice how it's still in one box. That's because I replied, right? This one is a reply to the original question, and this one is a response to this posting. I want you to notice how the indentation is a little bit different. Here's where the original is, and then the comment is over here, my response to it. And now if I hit reply again, yes it is, and I hit post reply, then we'll see what happens. Notice that what's happening is each time I reply, it's moving in a little bit, and that's significant because what happens is that inside of the response, you can have people responding to you. So let's say that I have a comment about the weather is gorgeous. 10 people may come and agree with me. They click on the reply underneath my comment, and then they have a posting too, and it all stays together. But notice that it's all inside of one box, and there's a space, a clear space between the original question and then the responses. This is important for you because when you're responding to the question, you have to click in that box. That's how you respond to the question that the teacher has asked. When you respond here, when you hit reply here, you're responding to the comments of another student, and that's significant. Some of your teachers are going to count the number of times you respond to students, and they're always also going to count how many times you respond to the original question. So it's very important for you to keep those things in mind. One last thing that I want to say about the discussion forum is what kinds of choices you have when you are going to reply. When I click reply, you can see that I have this text box here, but I also have all these options, right? I can put in a table. That's not very likely. I can put in a link to something if I want to. I can put in a picture if I want to. I can also click here and record an audio message or post a video message. That sometimes can take a long time, but it's possible to do that. And those are just some of the options that you have when you're responding. You can bold things, you can underline things, you can do a variety of things inside of this response. So don't feel that that you can only choose a few words. You can really have a developed answer inside of a discussion forum. So I hope this helps you.